Washington Post Live presents Oh, What a Night, a tribute to Andy Ockershausen.
Let's meet our first moderator. We all remember WMAL and their most popular on-air personalities. In the morning, it was Harden and Weaver. In the afternoon, of course, it was Trumbull and Core. Well, think of these two teams as bookends for the midday talent. Let's welcome our old friend, Tom Gager.
Those days are gone. You don't have to do it anymore.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here representing the greatest broadcast team in Washington, D.C. history. Most of them are here tonight. We'd like to mention Felix Grant, of course, and Jackson Weaver both died and no longer here. John Lyon is in the audience. Now meet the rest of them. First off, Bill Mayhugh, host of the All Night Show. Bill Trumbull and Chris Core. And Frank Harden.
You're right there.
This is going to go on for quite a while, as you probably can figure out by now. Sit down, Andy.
Is that? Go ahead.
You're comfortable?
Not yet, but
okay, you will. Let's go to have some zingers.
2 more cocktails and I won't even care.
We'll start with Bill Mayhugh. Bill was present when Andy was hired at Home Team Sports, which is the forerunner of Comcast. What was that like?
Well, I'll tell you, they invited me over to Baltimore to meet the head of Home Team Sports. And I said to the gentleman, I've worked with Andy for 28, 30 years. What's he going to do for Home Team Sports? And this man said to me, he's going to go to any party to which he has not been invited. He'll be the noisiest man in the room. He'll insult more people than he even knows. And maybe once in a while, he'll mention Comcast Sports.
Bill and Chris, you guys did the afternoon show. Bill, you've been there a lot longer, 5 years longer than me, as a matter of fact. Anything unusual ever happened that you could bring up and talk about?
No. Well, you want something like magic?
Sure.
Okay. Chris did the last hour of our show alone. Chris Korb, 6 to 7. He threw me out of the studio. I'm walking into the hallway. I look down the hallway, and there's this angelic figure. He's got a halo, white outfit. He starts walking toward me. And I'm wondering why this angel is hitting itself in the back of the head with a tennis racket. The closer we got, I realized it wasn't my guardian angel. It was Andy. Andy comes up to me. He's got a white tennis shoes, white socks, white shirt, and a pair of tennis shorts. When I say short, I mean short. I mean short, tight, short. And I'm looking him over, and all of a sudden I look down, and I see something waving at me. I won't go any further than that. So, to break, I don't know where to look, you know. I'm looking around. All of a sudden, Andy breaks the ice and he says, "Hey, Billy, got any extra underwear?"
One of the things that we were all encouraged to do by Andy, and was always beating us up to do this, was to get out into the community. And Trumbull and Core, you had a parade in Georgetown?
The Gross National Parade, which went for about a dozen years or so, a silly parade in Georgetown, and raised a lot of money for the D.C. Police Boys and Girls Club. And I probably was Andy's idea. I don't know. It depended on how many drinks he'd had that night. But
He copied the Doodah
Parade in Pasadena, but yeah.
Your girlfriend went out there and came back with the idea.
We... I just want to say one thing. On the occasion of my 40th birthday, they had a roast for me at Avenel Country Club. Some friends did. Some speakers came up. This guy was one of them. When he stood up, I said, let me tell you right now, this is a really bad idea. So, payback is hell, Andy.
Oh, I know that.
Frank Harden was half of the most successful broadcast team in the nation's, I just said nation's capital history. In the nation. As Andy will attest, the shares of the Harden Weaver program were just phenomenal, and those numbers have never been duplicated.
Never will.
Now, did Andy...
Which one are you, Harden or Weaver? I keep
Frank,
not Dude and Doug, I can tell you that.
Well, you tell him what's his name, and my name is Frank Harden.
Yeah. Frank, did Andy get his hands on the controls of the morning program? Did he mess with the music or anything?
No, and I'll tell you what about Andy. One time we were appearing, one of the many personal appearances we did. And Andy was also on the speaker's rostrum. And I remember one remark he made. He said, I often try to tell Harden and Weaver what to do, but they ignore me.
Best thing they ever did.
That's right.